Imagine being hungry for a few hours. Now imagine that feeling lasting for weeks. Starvation doesn't just weaken the body, it slowly changes the way the mind thinks, feels, and sees the world. Most people think starvation is only about weight loss. But psychologists discovered something far stranger. When the brain lacks food, it begins to reshape personality, emotions, and behavior in unexpected ways. One of the most famous studies was the Minnesota Starvation Experiment during World War II. Healthy young men volunteered to eat far less food than normal for months. At first, the changes seemed simple. Participants felt tired and cold. They moved slower and had less energy. But soon, the psychological effects became impossible to ignore. The men became obsessed with food. They talked about food constantly, collected recipes, stared at restaurant menus, and even dreamed about eating enormous meals every night. Food became the center of their universe. Activities they once loved suddenly felt meaningless. Their brains focused almost entirely on the basic need for survival. Something even creepier happened. Many participants became emotionally numb. They laughed less, enjoyed life less, and felt disconnected from the world around them. Starvation also increased anxiety. Small problems felt overwhelming. Everyday decisions became stressful because the brain lacked the fuel needed for normal emotional regulation. Some participants developed depression-like symptoms. They felt hopeless, unmotivated, and trapped. Their minds became darker even though they knew the situation was temporary. Relationships suffered too. Hunger made people irritable and impatient. Friends became annoying. Conversations felt exhausting. Social withdrawal became common. Researchers noticed another strange effect. The participants became extremely rigid in their thinking. They struggled to adapt and often became obsessed with routines and rules. Concentration began to collapse. Reading became difficult. Memory weakened. Tasks that once felt easy suddenly required enormous mental effort. The brain consumes huge amounts of energy every day. When calories disappear, the brain starts conserving resources, reducing performance in ways people rarely expect. Some participants experienced emotional outbursts. A minor frustration could trigger anger or tears. Hunger was quietly reshaping their emotional stability. Even their perception of time changed. Days felt longer. Thoughts moved slower. Life seemed to lose color and excitement as starvation continued. Perhaps the creepiest discovery was how personality appeared to change. Kind, outgoing people became withdrawn. Confident people became insecure and anxious. This revealed an uncomfortable truth. Many traits we think are permanent may depend heavily on whether the brain's basic biological needs are being met. Modern neuroscience explains why. The brain constantly monitors energy levels. When resources become scarce, survival systems take priority over creativity, joy, and long-term planning. This is why chronic hunger can affect judgment. People become more focused on immediate rewards and less able to think about distant goals or consequences. Starvation can also distort self-image. Some participants became preoccupied with their bodies, their food intake, and their appearance in ways they never had before. When the experiment ended and normal eating resumed, many psychological symptoms gradually disappeared. Their personalities began returning to what they had been before starvation. The lesson is unsettling. Hunger doesn't simply affect the stomach. It can temporarily transform the human mind. Under prolonged starvation, even our emotions, thoughts, and sense of self can start to change in surprisingly creepy ways. If you found this psychological mystery fascinating, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next deep dive into the hidden secrets of the human mind. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.